Hi everyone, this is MsBelinda Payne and welcome to our Sunday morning devotion. It's August 15th, 2021, and our devotion for today is, are you in or are you out? Either you are in or you're out. And so, have you ever been with someone who was about to do something and they turned to you and said, you in? Yeah, you in? What does that mean? In other words, they were asking you if you agreed with their decision or their act that they're about to commit. Or did you have the same mindset that they have? And they're asking you, are you in? And so a particular position that they're taking or a particular stance, they want to know, do you have the same idea that they have, or are you taking the same stand or stance that they're taking about a particular action, a particular project, or a particular event or idea that they have, something that they want to do? They're asking you, do you believe as I believe? That's the real question. So Elijah, the prophet, asked the same question, but in, of course, scriptural terms. He asked the question when he confronted Israel because they were worshiping Baal and they were worshiping Jehovah God. So he approached the people and he asked them, he says, how long are you going to waver? How long are you going to limp? How long are you going to jump back and forth between two opinions? So he said, if the Lord be God, then what? Follow him. But if Baal be God, small letter God, then follow him. Who is it that you believe? Whose opinion is it that you trust to be the real God? And so the people actually never answered. They didn't even respond to Elijah when he asked them the question. So what did he really mean when he was asking the people? In our today's language, he's saying either you're in with God or you're out with God. Are you in, i.e., you agree with the way the Lord thinks, how he processes things, his commandments, his principles, his precepts? Are you going to follow God or are you going to follow Baal? Now, Jesus also asks the same question, of course, but in scriptural terms, he put this before the disciples and the people because the people were in a quandary. So he said that no man can serve two masters. He said either you're going to love one and hate the other one, or either you're going to be loyal to one and or you're going to be what? You're going to despise the other. He says the same thing with money. Either you're going to love God or you're going to love or worship money. So he asked the people in that same language. He asked them to make a decision. He says, you can't be faithful to two masters. You can only be faithful to one master. And God is what? He is never going to share his glory with another. So the question today, even as believers, we're asking this question, and I'm proposing this to you. Are you in or are you out? Either you're in with God or you're out with God. That's the limit. Will you worship God or will you serve idols? What's your stance? Do you agree with the biblical principles that God has laid down for us to live by? Do you believe in doing the things that he's commanded you to do? And or do you even understand his decisions? And when you don't understand his decisions, are you still in? That's it. Either you're in or you're out. Whether we understand what God is doing in the earth today or we don't. The question is, are you in with God? Do you still believe that he's sovereign? Do you believe that he knows what he's doing? Even though to us, it may seem like things are helter-skelter, right? But nonetheless, will you trust God today? Even though you're looking at circumstances, you're looking at things, you're hearing things on the news, on the social media accounts, you're hearing it, but will you stand with Christ? That's it. What's your stance? Are you going to stand with Christ or are you going to stand with the world? So, are you going to trust and obey God just as Jesus commanded us to do? Are you going to do as Jesus does? That's what he's saying. Either you're in or you're out. Are you in with me or you're not? You're going to go with me and do things God's way, or are you going to do things your way? So our scripture, what is that? 1 Kings chapter 18 and 21 says, and Elijah came unto all the people, and he said, how long ye halt ye between what? Two opinions. If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, follow him. And the people answered him not a word. And then in Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24, it says, no one is able to serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You are not able to serve God and money. That's the lesson for today, so ponder on those things.